Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Skald against the Black Priory. As today, with our approach cleared, we're officially setting our sights on Harran. We have gathered a fair bit of info about the Reavers, but obviously we should go in expecting the unexpected. And aside from that, we also need to keep an eye out for Philip's bereaved wife, whom he espouses may still be somehow alive, as unbereavable as that prospect might be. But, you know, we'll see. There have been some mild happy endings, at least for the short term. Perhaps we'll get to add this one to the list. But, you know, don't get your hopes up. Once more into the breach. Oh, Chapter 2. That's slightly earlier than expected. Really kind of figured that it'd be after we left the first island. The gates stand conspicuously open, and you step carefully through into the ghost town. As if in greeting, a swarm of vermin pours out of every doorway and crevice towards you, covering the street in a mangy, skittering carpet. You set your feet, ready to meet the living tide, but the rats part, scurrying past you and out beyond the gates. Sewer rats. So why are they all above ground, and in such a hurry? Roland asks as he stomps on a stray rodent. Drina wades unperturbed into the tide of vermin. A path leads through this sea of filth. Onwards! And here we be, inside Harran proper. Raised palisade off to the right, seems inaccessible from where we are. Door on left. Street also seems to turn off on left. Which makes sense, since this is clearly a dead end. Oop, well. With a little bonus loot, we'll take that. Gold and snails. Sure, why not? And first house is a rest area. We've got a bed plus a cook station. That does make sense. So that's obviously intended to be like our initial base of operations as we explore the city. Then behind door number 2... moderate potion of attunement. Small stack of gold. What about door number 3? More loot. We'll take it. Jewelry is one step up from vendor trash. Thank you, cat. Cook station, more loot. Umbarian wine. As you approach the city square, panicked cries of fear, pain, and despair echo across the plaza. You move closer and spy a large group of Reavers rounding up and binding villagers. The poor souls are bloodied and abused, and the Reavers tie them in ranks, as though they intend to march them away. And look at that. Green clothes, auburn hair. That is quite the coincidence. Hey, hold up! The men whirl around at the sound, and elation spreads across their faces as they spot you. Dragging their captives along, the Reavers fan out around you with moronic grins and weapons drawn. One of them makes a piercing whistle, and it's echoed by another one behind you. A new group of 6 Reavers file into the street, cutting off any chance you had at a retreat. A hulk of a man steps to the fore, dressed only in ragged trousers and half a hood. His swollen barrel chest is covered in sailor tattoos. He hefts a rusty, serrated dagger and drags a terrified woman behind him by her auburn hair. He smiles serenely as he approaches, revealing a few remaining yellow teeth. "You have no idea how glad I am to see you here." There is no scorn or malice in his voice, only genuine joy. "You're truly blessed to be a part of this." He slowly, almost tenderly, places the knife against the woman's throat as he speaks. "Easy now, let's not do anything hasty. You're the one they call Father, I presume?" The men roar with laughter. "I am not, but he is waiting for you. He has so much to show you. When you're ready." "Oh, does he now? I don't suppose you could give me a hint as to what that might be?" The man's voice rises, speaking as much to the other Reavers as to you. "We stand at the dawn of a new age, of old masters, reclaiming their rightful thrones, and you will all play your part in ushering it in." The hooded man smiles cruelly at Drina. "You know, I really kind of figured we'd be fighting by now, but, where exactly is this going? You expect me to cooperate, fall in line with the rest of these prisoners? Meet this father of yours? And what happens if I decline? Am I free to go, or do you take me by force?" The man's breathing deepens in perverse delight as he pulls his hostage's head back by her long auburn hair. "We bring these children to Father's flock. You are free to roam and frolic with our brothers and sisters. I'm sure Oleg or Kala will welcome you with open arms." "You know, I might just do that. Though I'd feel a lot better about doing it if you were to say, 'Let these people go.' I'd hate to start things off on the wrong foot." "You cannot threaten me. All that can change now is just how many vessels Father will offer up to her by the day's end. Can't you see? This is your chance to be part of something so much bigger than yourself." Oh, interesting. Well, if, as you say, the number of people offered up doesn't really matter, then what's the harm in letting a few go as a sign of good faith? The brute stares at you for a moment, then smiles. He stabs his dagger into the woman's thigh and she screams in shock and pain. Blood sprays uncontrollably from the wound as he pushes her roughly towards you. She stumbles into your arms, her face a mask of pleading and terror. The wound is deep, but she may yet be saved. "Oh, Drina, really counting on you here. We need a 4 or higher." "Oh, made it by 1. Oh, I should note, I did actually up the difficulty. We're currently running on max. And among the various other things it changes, it does, in fact, give us no safety net on skill checks. Apparently there's one built in for the lower difficulties, but not for hard. The wound has cut one of the large blood vessels in her thigh, and the situation is dire. Acting quickly, Drina loosens her belt and wraps it around the woman's leg. Using a stick, she crafts a tourniquet and manages to apply enough pressure to halt the bleeding. The woman's life has been saved. As you look around, the pack of Reavers have fled with their hostages, and the plaza now lies empty. You sit with the woman and catch your breath. Out of the fog coming from the fisherman's gate, a thin wretch of a man limps into view. "Nadia, by the Golden Dead, you saved her!" Philip rushes to her side with tears streaming down his face. No doubt the poor man followed you into the city to look for his wife. She's been badly injured. We need to get her somewhere safe, quick. Our old home is nearby. It will have to do. Philip picks up his wife and leads you a short way through the mist to a meager home. As you follow, Drina places a hand on your shoulder and offers a soft smile. A small reprieve amongst all this suffering, no? That it is. A bit bloodthirsty and bittersweet, but certainly better than what could have been. Oh, and we're in the house we passed just as we came in. The one I mentioned was an obvious resting point. Maybe this is where we'll send any survivors we encounter? Though that would come with some pretty obvious narrative risks. Philip seems to have regained some of the color in his face. He gently wipes Nadia's brow with a wet piece of cloth. It's good to see you again. Thank you so much for saving Nadia's life. I could not have gone on without her. Please, take this as a token of my gratitude. Philip produces a gold ring and offers it to you. No, why don't you hold on to that? I'm just happy to help. We've all got to stick together in times like this, you know? The man looks stunned for a moment, then smiles and bows to you in gratitude. You're a fool to turn down pay for a job well done, Roland grumbles behind you. Well, we are still collecting payment, just in the form of information. Something perhaps a bit more practical than this poor guy's wedding band. Philip, just let me rest here when need be, and maybe answer a few questions, and we'll call it square. Of course. Ask me anything you like, and I'll help you if I can. First of all, you sure this place is safe? The city is far from safe, but Nadia is too severely wounded to travel. Besides, from what you tell me, it seems nowhere is safe on this blasted island. Besides, the Reavers seem to be holed up in their separate parts of town for now. I pray the Golden Dead will grant you the strength to prevail against them. Yeah, we'll certainly do our best. I guess just lock the door behind us. Try not to die? You know, things were pretty hectic when we first met. But now that they're a mite bit calmer, can you think of anything else that might be useful against the Reavers? Not much. The ones you met were part of Father's lot. The ones holed up in the keep. But you should ask Nadia. She might have heard something while they held her. Right, which we would have missed had we not successfully extracted her. All right, I'll have a chat with her. Thank you. Philip? Nadia is pale and drawn. She must have lost a lot of blood. However, her wound is securely bound, and she is in relative safety. If it is within her to recover, she will. Nadia, I know you've been through a lot, but do you think you could possibly answer a few questions? Of course. I'll help you as best I can. The men who took you, can you tell me anything about them? Yes, I did hear something. The man who stabbed me was taking us to the keep, to meet Father. But he was angry that the Reavers in the city itself had taken to infighting, split up into groups they had, fighting over tablets or some such items, he said. And what's more, I heard him say that the tablets were currently in the possession of a Reaver he called Oleg the Grey, or something to that effect. Okay. That is very useful. Thank you, Nadia. So we have names for the 3 sub-leaders, and we know what they're fighting over now. These mysterious tablets. We also know that Father does not approve of their antics. Then we also have a level up in the queue for Freya, but that's pretty straightforward. going right for that intellect boost. That's a pretty huge get for her. That's her primary spellcasting attribute, and it's a +1 to her 2 primary skills. Alright, we've made our entrance, we've got our foothold. Let's go check out the square. Oh, what's his face? Franco. Franco said his inn was right off the square, so in theory that should be somewhere nearby. Portcullis. Oh, and there's our winch, though this clearly isn't the same portcullis we saw on the way in. There's no bodies. Though that does very clearly illustrate that we can in fact get up on this wall. Possibly via this door? Or, you know, the obvious rope looped around the crenellation. Yeah, I guess that could work too. Blacksmith shop. Door is non-interactive though, that doesn't bode well. Oop. As you pass the darkened alley, you feel the eyes of someone watching you. Peering into the shadows, you can just make out the form of what appears to be a little girl in dirty, torn clothing. Before you can get a closer look, the girl flees, disappearing into the darkness beyond. Cat grabs your cloak. We have to follow her. Yeah, of course. Hey, nice. It doesn't take long for you to catch up to the girl in the maze of back alleys. Cornered, she glares at you, her lips curling in a feral snarl. Don't harm her, Cat whispers, as she moves towards the girl slowly with her hands up in front of her in a disarming gesture. The girl struggles against your grip, snarling at you as you attempt to speak with her. She can be no older than 13 winters, but her emaciated frame and grime-covered skin make it hard to tell. The girl glares up at Cat with wide, scared eyes. Poor thing, Cat says, patting her arm. You must be starving. Here, take this. We're just trying to help. The girl snatches the food from you like a frightened animal and wolfs it down. More, she growls. Ah, so the girl has a tongue after all. Cat offers the girl a small, reassuring smile. Don't worry, girl, you can have as much as you like. In exchange for information. We are here to help, but we need your help too. The girl absent-mindedly fiddles with something, but her eyes are sharp and watchful. No doubt she knows a lot about the town, having survived here for so long. So first things first, what should we call you? I assume you've got a name? The girl still seems hesitant as she looks up at you. Cora, she says, her voice low. But I hate it, so everybody calls me Corey. Except my ma, that is. Where's your mother now? As soon as the question leaves your lips, you realize the mistake. You don't push for the answer, and Cora does not offer one. The silence says everything. Cat gently strokes the child's hair. Tell me, Corey, what do you know about the Reavers, the people who've done this to your home? We're here to stop them, but we need to know how. The girl looks up at you with large, tear-filled eyes. They mostly come out at night. Mostly. She hugs her arms around herself. Thank you, Newt. At least, they used to. I don't see them as much anymore. Not since they started fighting each other. Fighting each other, you say? Yeah, we heard about that. She nods, her gaze distant. Yeah, one day they just turned on each other. started killing their own instead of hunting people. Now, though, they seem to be holed up in different parts of the town, almost as if they're waiting for something. Hold up, you say? You wouldn't happen to know where? One group seems to stay on the docks. They're led by a woman named Kala, I think. I saw her once. Never knew women could look so cruel. She pauses, worrying at her lower lip. Besides them, there's another band holed up in that old walled house over there. She points to the northeast. A gray-haired man called Oleg leads them. Oh, this is very useful information. There's more, though, right? The butcher, the father. There are men outside the temple, led by someone they call the butcher. They've been doing horrible things. Burning. She trails off before shaking her head. They've blocked off the streets leading to the temple, so those men don't come to this part of the city anymore. I see. Corey, how exactly have you been getting around without being caught? Once the Reavers started fighting amongst themselves, they blocked off the streets. Made it real hard to get around unseen, but I'm no fool. Cora smiles mischievously. So I see. I'm impressed. She seems pleased at the compliment. It's too dangerous and hard to travel the streets, but under them is another thing. There's tunnels all under the city, and if you don't mind the stench and avoid the beasties, they'll take you wherever you need to go. Clever girl. All right, Corey. Well, I've got a safe house out near the Fisherman's Gate, but apparently I can't tell you to actually go there, which honestly might be for the best, since trying to gather all of the survivors in one place is really just asking for trouble. But that said, I guess do your best to stay safe. Now, where are we? Oh, well, fell down a sewer grate. You peer into the dark depths below. The stench of raw sewage assaults your olfactory organs with such force that you struggle to keep your last meal down. Kat looks up at you, pale-faced. You can't be serious. Before she manages to finish the sentence, she whirls around and vomits. Roland's laughter booms. What's wrong, girl? Lost your appetite for adventure? You clamber down the grimy ladder and emerge into a series of vaulted tunnels. A thick, bubbling greenish-brown stew lazily floats by you, a river of filth expertly channeled away by the city-spanning sewer system. I wonder if the craftsmen of today still possess the knowledge to build tunnels such as these, Ivan muses. The Gallian Empire has become an empire of caretakers, a custodial empire who no longer builds, only frantically tries to fight off that great conqueror, decay. No? I cannot decide what I want you to sound like. My initial thought was Dapper Rogue, but every time I look at that facial hair, I just think, my name is Earl. Oh, hello there. Who goes there? Since you noticed me, I guess we can talk. I did not actually mean to come down here, though. Don't you come any closer now, the man cautioned as he brandished a mace. He's covered with grime from top to toe, and looks oddly at home in the muck and filth of the sewers. The odd man squints as he raises his lantern to get a better look at you. Though you're certainly not one of those madmen. Begging your pardon, my lord, but one can't be careful enough these days. Yeah, trust me, I get that. I could say the same. Spend too much time down here and your mind begins playing tricks on you. Such is the life of a sewer jack, I suppose. Not that I'm much of one, having lost my badge of office and all. Lost your badge, huh? So I'm just taking your word that you actually work down here then. What's it look like? Maybe I can find it for you. Oh, a brass badge that us sewer jacks wear. 'Tis a badge of our authority, you know. The man puffs out his chest in the slightest. But as I said, mine's lost. Must have dropped it when I scuffled with that pack of vermin near those side tunnels to the east of here. The man half turns and shows you a large bloody gash torn across his back. Tunnels east of here, got it. I'll keep an eye out. You mind if I ask a few questions? Ask away. Great, so what exactly is a sewer jack? Sounds both inappropriate and unsanitary. Oh, they pay us to keep the sewers free of vermin, human and otherwise. The man chuckles. Used to be it was fine work if you could stand the smell, but not lately. Sewer's been overrun with beasties. Overgrown, cruel, dangerous monsters. I slew a leech the size of my leg the other day, and a pack of rats nearly ended me just hours ago. Any idea what's causing it? Causing it? The man says dreamily, as if he's never stopped to consider it before. Sometimes I wonder if it's not been like this all along. I mean, it hasn't, right? As I said, the darkness plays tricks on you down here. Well, that does beg the question, then why are you still down here? You know the exit's right over there. The man seems to collect his thoughts again. I know these tunnels like the back of my hand, and with the carnage going on above, this place is as safe as any, I reckon. Those Reavers are dangerous people, and I'd rather take my chances down here for now. You know what? That is absolutely fair. So, I know this is a bit of a stretch, but I don't suppose you have a map or something? These here tunnels are a bit of a maze until you get to know them. But for the most part, as long as you stay away from the beasties and muck, you can't really get too lost. All tunnels loop back to the central cisterns, one way or another. And if you're real clever like, you can use the tunnels to get almost anywhere in the city. There are 3 outlets that empty into the harbor. The westernmost of them has planks that allow you to sneak out onto the docks. And if you need to get to the area by the temple, now that it's blocked off and all, there's a side tunnel in the western part of the sewers that leads into a cellar near the temple. Now we're talking. We know who the leaders are, and we roughly know how to get to them. We know Oleg the Grey's back up top, just northeast off the town square. We know... what's-her-face? Kala the Red? Is in the docks. He didn't give a direction, but he did say the outflow pipes, so we just follow the current, which is south. And then, obviously, the butcher is to the west. That does beg the question of where the east tunnels take us. Finally, in the southeastern tunnels, you might come across a staircase leading down into the underhalls. All kinds of queer folk can be found there. Thieves and cutthroats and the like. They're not Reavers, though, mind you. I hear they even have some kind of market down there where all kinds of wares can be had. But I'd give them a wide berth if I were you. Best not take any chances. And there we go. East tunnels lead to the Black Market and the Rat Queen. So, Jack, I guess. I've got to ask, do the Reavers ever come down here? Aye, they do come down here from time to time. It seems they've barricaded the city above off into sections, and it seems using the sewers might be the easiest way to move between areas. But no checkpoints or guard posts? A small group of them came through here a few days ago. I shadowed them for a bit, but then they rounded a corner, and before I could catch up to them, they were gone. Just like that. For the life of me, I don't understand where they could have gone. I lost their trail northeast of here, in the bend where the fungus patches grow. Fungus patches, you say? Right, thanks. Alright, Jack, stay safe. I'll see what I can do about making things a bit more amenable down here for you. You know, once I'm done up top. Because, again, I did not mean to go down there. I just kind of tripped and fell down the sewers. Though I do now see where we are. We're on the north side of the fountain. So Oleg is clearly this way, northeast. We'll avoid that section for now until we finish canvassing the rest of this particular section. A barricade constructed from debris blocks this path. It is too large to dismantle before retaking the city, and for now, you must find some way around it. Noted. We also have another sewer access here, but I think that one just comes back down. Yes, next to Jack. Oh, and then obviously what he said earlier about the guys disappearing in the tunnels on the northeast. That must be a secret door that leads into Oleg's hideout. But, you know, we'll at least try talking to all these people first, before... Oh, here we go. This must be Franco's Inn. This is one of the entrances to the inn. The door, however, is barricaded from the inside, and there is no way of opening it from where you're currently standing. Perhaps there is another way in? Right. Okay, so we are very clearly seeing shortcuts back out of the other sections. There's probably a side door on the tavern. Why would they decorate the interior of the blacksmith shop if you couldn't actually get in there? Might have a sewer access. We'll have to keep an eye out once we're down there. Or maybe they move back in after we clear out the reavers. I mean, it did also imply the barricades will eventually come down once we're done. Oh. We've got a door and a back alley. Let's see what we've got going on over here. I mean, right off the bat, we can see a corpse, but what else is new? And a brewing station. That might come in handy. Locket of athletics. That's a good find for Roland. We'll go ahead and slap that right on him. I don't think he's got a necklace. Nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have rather found, like, magic plate mail or something, but I will take what I can get. Shoot, down to our last 5 picks. For now. Let's hope this was worth it. I'm sorry, I meant down to 3 picks. Boy. Ooh, a modest assortment of gems. Okay. That sounds promising. Never mind. Despite the fancy pants names and appearance, they are actually worth very little. But you know what, we'll take them. That's still worth more than the picks it took to get in there. What is that? Oh my. We've got rats and a big pile of corpses. Oh, you know what? We might actually be right near the front gate. That would make sense. Not too worried about the rats, but we did just up the difficulty and they can make us sick. So let's approach this on a cautious footing. Oh, well. Yeah, I think we're okay. Still no reason to let them nibble on us more than we have to. Clear the closer targets, make the rest waste their actions getting to us. Which honestly might not even be necessary. Seems like we caught most of them by surprise. Wow, these guys are kind of shockingly fragile after what we've gotten used to recently. Oh, we should conserve our arrows. We're down to our last 40 or so. Top off. Very nice. Also, level up to Roland. Let me just double check here real quick. Yes. 40 plus 9. As for Roland, I don't think I really had anything explicit in mind for this level up. At this point, we're really just kind of filling in the gaps. So I suppose the real question is, do we go offense or do we go defense? We're doing okay on encumbrance. Don't really need to bump up our armor skills. You know what? I'll sit on that for now. Give it some thought. Yep, that's our front gate. Which means Oleg the Grey has to be over here, because that is very much the northeast corner of town. The portcullis is closed. Perhaps there is a mechanism nearby? Question mark? Perhaps. I suppose we could try looking in this gatehouse-shaped building. Oh, would you look at that? Wow, I've got to say, that was easier than I thought it would be. I really honestly figured they'd throw an obstacle or two in our way. Huh. Now let's check this kneecapped corpse. Sewer access. Small pile of gold. Okay, so we just have another sewer access back here. Gotcha. Which I think brings us to a pretty good place to call it. We have more or less completely secured this outer area. Look at that. The tailor shop here also clearly has interior decorations. So again, either a sewer access or this place does open back up once we're done here. I guess we'll see. I mean, actually rebuilding and repopulating the town does feel like it kind of goes against the game's whole bleak, grimdark theme. The idea that you're fighting perpetual entropy, decay. The best you can ever hope for is to buy a little more time, never to really build things back up. But we did save Philip's wife. We helped out the refugees. We've kept a shocking number of people alive. I don't know. I just, like, you know, obviously I don't want to get my hopes up for a potential happy ending and put myself in, like, the figurative frog and scorpion situation. Get my hopes up for a potential happy ending for this world and its people, only to end up acting shocked when it inevitably blows up and stabs me in the face. And then I'm all like, why? Why would you do this? I was trying to help you, and now we'll croak together. And then the world's just like, it's in my nature. But I guess we will see. Eventually, since obviously we still have a fair bit of work ahead of us. That said, we'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping, figure out what we're doing with Roland, and we will pick up here next time. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.